Welcome to her net worth journey. My name is Caitlin, and you're following along as I attempt to reach $1 million net worth. Today we're going to talk about calculating your net worth. So I started my finance journey a little over a year ago when COVID kind of began. I had not really talked about finances. My family didn't talk about finances. I wasn't really sure where to begin. So like a lot of people, I started YouTubing and watching a lot of videos, watching a lot of interviews, reading a lot of books, listening to a lot of podcasts. And I came across the Budgetnista and her Get Go with Money book. And in that, she talks a lot about how to increase your net worth. And I hadn't really considered what my net worth was before. And so I sat down and I started thinking about it. And I decided that my goal is to reach $1 million net worth. Net worth is not the amount of money that is in your bank account. So I'm not saying I am trying to reach $1 million in my bank account. Obviously, that would be awesome, but it's not really my goal right now. It might be a goal later on once I hit more milestones. But right now, my goal is to reach $1 million net worth. I'm going to talk to you today about how I plan on going from a negative net worth to a positive net worth. So to calculate that, we got to figure out what my assets and liabilities are, because net worth is assets minus liabilities. So first, I went ahead and I looked through all of my accounts and I figured out what my assets were. So assets are things like the money in your checking account, the money in your savings account, the market value for your house, the market value for your car, and how much is in your retirement fund. So I went ahead and I added up all those numbers, and I'm going to tell you those today. So my assets. My value of my house right now at market value is $145,000. I am being conservative in that estimate because that is what we purchased our home for. Right now on Zillow, technically it's ranging for about $172,000 per that estimate, but we know that's not accurate. I know that the housing market is blowing up right now, but I don't think that we would get $172,000 for our house, nor are we trying to sell it right now. So I'm trying to say right now we've added value to the house, but I think we also overpaid for our house when we purchased it because there was a couple things wrong that we had to fix immediately upon moving into our home. So I think right now, I think $145,000 is a safe bet in terms of how much our market value of our house is. We still have a lot more things that we want to do to it. So then the money in my checking account. So the money in my checking account right now is $848. I know that's really, really sad, but there's a lot of things I have purchased for the house this last month, and I also haven't got paid this week, so I get paid next week. So it'll increase a little bit. But it's not that bad because most of the time I put a lot of my money in my savings account anyways. I don't try to keep that much money in my checking account. I try to keep that money for just bills only and then put the rest of the money into my savings account. And that kind of helps out because I can earn interest on my savings account versus my checking account, which doesn't do anything besides giving my money faster. So my savings account total is around $9,500, and that's a couple different savings accounts. So I have my brick and mortar bank Chase, and that is about $4,000. That doesn't earn me a lot of interest. It's about 0.01%. I'll talk about that in a later video, why I switched over to a high yield savings account. But right now I'm keeping it in my Chase for easy access, especially because I run a business. So I try to keep money on hand for when I need things. But that's about $4,000. And so then my high yield savings account, which I have through Ally, is about $2,000, $2,100. And that earns me about a 0.5 interest per year. So that's a really great deal. It's earning me interest way faster than my brick and mortar bank. So that's why I opened up a high yield savings account. And it's also a lot harder for other reasons for me to claim that money. So it takes a couple more days. So it keeps me from spending it. And then my last savings account is our renovation/joint savings account. So me and my husband have a joint savings account to save for bigger things like travel and our home renovations. And so I only gave myself about half of that account, which is about $3,000. That way, half that money is technically his, even though technically I could take it all if I wanted to. I wouldn't do that, but if I wanted to, I could. And so I gave myself about half that money. So in total, it's around $9,500 for my savings account. Next is my retirement account. I really didn't start putting any money into my retirement account until I started my full-time job a little over 2 years ago. I have a salary match with my organization, and so it's a lot easier to save for retirement. So right now, I believe there's about $5,000 in there. That is a conservative estimate. I'm still working on how to get into that account. I know, horrible, but I'm trying to get back into that account. I lost the PIN number, so I'm trying to get back into that account to see the real total. But right now, I'm going to conservatively say it's $5,000. The market value of my car. So I went ahead and I looked at Kelley Blue Book for my vehicle. I purchased a 2020 Wrangler in December of last year, and I got it used, and I purchased it for, I believe, $38,000, but now it's down to $33,000 per Kelley Blue Book. That was the lower end of the estimate from Kelley Blue Book. Kelley Blue Book's range was $33,000 to $36,000. I know that even the bottom range of Kelley Blue Book is unlikely to be paid by a car dealership, so I'm just saying that I'm going to give myself $33,000 for the value, because that was the lowest end of Kelley Blue Book, even though I know it would probably be a little bit lower than that at an actual car dealership were I to trade my car in. But because I gave myself a conservative estimate on my retirement fund, I think it will even out. So those are my assets. So next we need to calculate my liabilities. So liabilities are things like your balance on your home, your balance on your auto, consumer debt, any personal loans that you have, anything that you owe money to somebody else or an institution, that is a liability. So for my liabilities, my number one liability obviously is my home. So on my mortgage balance, I owe $138,708. So we plan on being in this home for a little bit longer. We do have a 30-year mortgage, but we probably plan on moving out after a couple of years, only because it's such a small home. It's only 900 square feet. So if we were to have children or more animals, it would be really hard to fit them all into this home. Even though we do love the backyard, it is a pretty good space. We have added some space to the backyard as well that we plan on enclosing later on, so it could add some square footage. But right now, it's a good value for our home. If we were to, if we were to sell our home, we would get some of our money back that we have invested, but we're going to wait until later on. So next would be my consumer debt. So I broke this down into a couple different categories, and I'll explain those in a second. But right now, my total for my consumer debt is around $10,165. And that comprises of my PayPal credit, which I have about $1,400 on, a little over $1,400. And then I have my personal loan that is a joint loan with me and my husband. That is our renovation loan. So that allowed us to do things like purchase a fence, fix our roof, fix the air conditioning. And that was right now, I believe, at a total of like $7,200. And then I also have the Peloton bike. So I included that in my consumer debt. And right now that's a little bit below $2,000. So in total, it's coming up to around $10,165. Student loans is $43,685. And so I acquired student loans through my senior year of undergraduate, and then my entire master's program was through student loans. I was lucky to be able to do that, and I do need a master's degree for my position. So it kind of worked out where I could get a higher paying job with my master's degree, and I really do enjoy my job, so I really wanted to go into that program. So I don't regret that part. I do regret not being able to work my last semester as I completed an internship, just due to where I was located. But I do plan on paying that off soon. Luckily, they have been on a freeze until September of 2021 due to COVID, but they're also on a freeze. I'm on deferment anyways because I am finishing up another degree program. Luckily, with my new job, degrees are free, so it is a pretty good benefit for me because I love learning. So right now, I should be finishing up my next degree in December. So I won't have to start paying off my loan until after my degree ends in December. It'll be about 6 months from the time my degree ends, so maybe June of next year. I don't plan on waiting that long to start paying back my student loans, but I do want to kind of wait a little bit longer because I do need to pay off some other things and get my car payment down a little bit more in order to make that payment doable. So if I take so the last asset that I have is my auto loan. So my auto loan is at $32,131. So if you remember from the Kelley Blue Book value, it is at $33,000 in value. So I do have a little bit of positive net worth right there, or positive equity right there. But it's definitely not as low as I want it to be in order to trade that car in. So it's definitely something that I plan on keeping for a long time. It is it's been my dream car since I was a kid. Thanks, Lorelai Gilmore from Gilmore Girls for giving me that dream. But it's definitely something that I plan to keep for a while, especially while living down here in Florida. It is a very convenient car for going to the beach and doing other activities down here in Florida. So then looking at my assets minus my liabilities to get my net worth, my asset total is $193,348. So sounds great. Sounds like a big number, right? But then we look at my liabilities, which is not that great. My liabilities is $224,689. So my liabilities is definitely higher than my assets right now. So that definitely means I have a negative net worth. So when you subtract my liabilities from my assets, you do get a net worth of negative $31,341. So as you remember from earlier, I am trying to reach $1 million net worth. So I'm starting in an okay place. Last year, if you would have asked me what my net worth was, it would have been negative $44,000. So I have gained a lot of positive net worth since then. So I am pretty proud of myself on this journey. I do intend to increase that. Obviously a year, $13,000 increase is definitely good, but I definitely want to be increasing higher than that each year. Otherwise I won't reach that goal until forever. I'm not going to do the math on that. If you'd like to, definitely comment down below what that math would be. But I intend to increase that. I intend to definitely work on that faster than I have this past year. COVID has kind of put a pause on things, especially with my side hustle of photography. Weddings haven't really been taking place as often, so my photography business has been doing okay, but I definitely expect it to take off starting next year when weddings start to come back in full force. And so then I intend to also increase my salary and do a couple other side hustles to get that money and assets back up. And so then I also plan to add home equity to my home. So there's a lot of things that I plan on doing, and I'll talk about my goals in another video, but definitely comment down below where you're starting at. I'd love to share with you your net worth journey as well. And I definitely want to hear about any goals that you have to increase that net worth. I think that is such a cool idea to share goals and make ourselves accountable and make sure that we are working towards those goals. Be sure to subscribe down below and hit the bell notification. I will be posting videos every Monday, and when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I will be doing a giveaway, so make sure that you are commenting and subscribing, because only my first 1,000 subscribers will be entered into this giveaway. And I definitely can't wait for you to follow along on my journey to $1 million net worth. I can't wait to follow along on your journey of increasing your net worth as well. So definitely let me know if you have any questions down below. I will be posting more videos soon, so just look out for those on Mondays, okay? Have a great rest of your week, and let's get the net worth going.